Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Seamaster 2019 ITTF World Tour Platinum China Open, coming to you live from Zhendong, China. I'm your commentator, Adam Bobrow. This is the men's singles quarterfinals, which is the final that many have imagined over the last several years of table tennis, but it's happening in the round of 8. It is Ma Long, world rank number 5 currently, the GOAT in many people's opinion, the most dominant player table tennis has ever known, versus world rank number 1, his protege, 22-year-old Xiaopeng von Zhendong.
Umpire, Rufei, China.
Rufei, umpire from China.
Assistant
The
umpire,
world ranking for Ma Long was
China.
number 11 at the time of registration, which is why these two face in the quarterfinals. I know a lot of people will ask. Ma Long was out of the game for 6 months on injury, and during that time, his world ranking suffered. He just couldn't contribute points to his world ranking without playing. So in that time, he dipped quite a bit, but after winning the Qatar Open, winning the World Championships, he's at world number 5. Tends to collect a lot of points, but this is the last tournament for a long time, I would imagine, where we will see Zhendong and Ma Long facing this early in the tournament. Normally it wouldn't be till the final. Ma Long looking up at the screen for a moment, in incredible form so far, but he's been beaten already in the men's doubles event with Wang Chuqin. That could affect his overall confidence, his feeling, but also up his determination to make sure that he doesn't let this slip. So in the stadium right now, they're interviewing people about their thoughts for Ma Long and Von Zhendong. Von Zhendong won their last encounter. Now, I've had a little trouble getting internet access here, but off memory, it's somewhere in the ballpark of 16 encounters on the World Tour, including ATTU events for Von Zhendong and Ma Long. Von Zhendong has only won twice, which means Ma Long has won about 14 of the other encounters. Maybe it's 13-2, but either way, Von Zhendong won their last encounter despite being down 0-1 and 7-10 in the Asian Cup. Coming back to win 4-2, I believe, against Ma Long. An incredible match. They've put on many of the best matches in modern history for table tennis. The 2017 final in Dusseldorf. Another one to go back and watch. Ma Long, the most agile, the most complete player in the game, with an absolutely dominant record against the 22-year-old on the other side. Now you might say, well, he's only 22 years old if you're new to the sport. He's been on the scene for 6 years taking titles. 6 years. Some players never make TV matches in their 6 years of career. Again, Lu Guoliang, another one who retired quite young. Deng Yaping, after 7.5 years at world number 1, the little giant, she didn't continue on to play as late. Ma Long, 30 years old, young father who's on a mission to leave no question to who is the greatest of all time. 3 consecutive world championship titles. If he wins this tournament here as the defending champion, excuse me, not the defending champion. Last year was the year that there was, oh wow, I have to go back and read, see what I can access here. I was gonna say Timo Boll having 10-6 on Dima, Dima getting 6 points in a row. That might have been 2017. Either way, Ma Long currently world ranked number 5. If he wins this, he'll still have a tough road ahead. Again, internet access will help with some of this, so you can check for yourself on ITTF.com for all the information you need about who will play whom. One thing that Ma Long has in front of him is an opportunity to set a record, to break the record. Here's Pei Wei-Ming from China, our assistant umpire. A record that has been held on to for a long time by Vladimir Samsonov of Belarus. 27 World Tour titles. That's the most of any player on the World Tour. And this man right here, Ma Long, is tied with Vladimir Samsonov for holding that record. For a long time, any tournament that Ma Long played, he was incredibly likely to win. Continued in Qatar, continued at the World Championships, not at the Asian Cup. It was a final between these two, and now it's the rematch, a best of 7. A quarterfinal that will feel a lot like the final happening early. This is really the biggest conversation in the men's game right now. Who will win when these two play? For years it has been Ma Long. Is it the time for Zhendong? We will see best of 7. Clash of the Titans, love all.
Lights, love all.
Zhendong, known for his explosive power on both sides, his incredibly powerful backhand over the table and from behind.
Love one.
2017, Ma Long allowed Zhendong to take the first attack on many occasions. Ma Long is the Zen master on the table. So comfortable to change the pace and control. Look at that bending backhand. That was Mima Ito style out here. And that's a very high compliment. You won't be hearing me complimenting Ma Long, calling him Mima Ito so often, just because their games are quite different. But that bending backhand. Many shots here. Zhendong able to get the upper body out of the way. Ma Long finding that perfect placement. I mean, these are like the pressure points on the human body in table tennis. Ma Long knows exactly where to strike you to make you squeal. Crosses the body to play it wide out to the forehand, putting a bit of bend on it. Ma Long hasn't dropped a point yet, coming to the table quite determined. I heard from a reliable source that for 3 nights he had trouble sleeping in the World Championships because all he could think about was tactics for the days to come. I say that only to put things in perspective, that after losing to Zhendong at the Asian Cup this year, I guarantee you, Ma Long has put a whole lot of thought and preparation into this match for how to make sure that the result is different from the last time they faced. Goes for broke here, leaves open the forehand side of the table, but the quality and the positioning of the shot secures the point for Ma Long. See where he finishes that stroke over by the left shoulder. Comes across the body a little bit more to abbreviate the stroke. A little bit more efficiency for Ma Long, surprise factor high. Quite unexpected here, the score line. Still quite peculiar to me. I saw both of the players before the match. Both of them looked incredibly focused.
Lights, love 8.
Right off the bounce. All fan club in the crowd. Watching as Zhendong tries to deal with the backhands. Zhendong is known for having the stronger backhand of the two players. Finally, a human moment for Ma Long. While Ma Long is a more forehand dominant player, his backhand is definitely one of the best in the world. Quick reaction. This is a bit more characteristic of the threat that Zhendong brings. There's the Chiquita. Perfectly done side and topspin to the very corner of the table. Wow. Makes it look so easy. Okay, now we're getting into some of the quality of points that I expect. This is just the tip of the iceberg for these two. Really, the best points of this match have yet to come. Good touch from Ma Long, keeps it inside the table quite short. Now 6 game points for the Dragon.
Lights, 10-4.
11-4, dominant. Game number 1 for the Dictator. That's the way it goes here. We will see. I don't expect all the games to be quite this scoreline. Zhendong still waking up and getting into the match, but Ma Long in control will be back for game number 2 right after this.
Second game. Ma Long to serve. Love ball.
Players back for game number 2. Ma Long in the lead after winning 11-4 in game number 1. Zhendong dumped out early from the World Championships, quite early. After all, he was the top seed and the player expected to be in the final. Beautiful backhand to finish from Ma Long behind the table. And when I say the player expected to be in the final, assuming him and Ma Long ended up on opposite sides of the draw, these were the two we expected, the world expected to see in the final. The luck of the draw did not allow such.
1-0.
There's even a lot of conversation about the fact that only 1 Chinese player ended up on one side and 4 ended up on the other. But just a quick reminder, with 5 players in the tournament, 3 and 2 is the best split you can get. 1 deviation of that, suddenly you've got 4 and 1. That's what happened. Good control over the table. Zhendong earning the big opening. Better start here for Zhendong. What, down 1-9? Game number 1, that is. Ma Long so quick to touch the ball right off the bounce. See if we have a chance to see it maybe later. I'm sure we'll see it again throughout the match, but the quickness, fast footwork and the core strength to get in over the table, play the ball right off the bounce to control, give himself the options, but yet he gets back to recover from backhand. Long using the diagonal of the table for his push to keep it short perfectly. There are a lot of different things to consider, and I think Ma Long is considered more than most. Maybe more than anybody in the world, at least he's been able to execute. But something we commonly see in the push game is if you know it's not going to be easy to keep short, where's the best place to keep it? so that the opponent can get there late, or the table stays in the way the longest. Think about it that way. Just toying, waiting, playing a game of chicken with Zhendong. He's got his gloves up, racket up high here. Says, okay, let's go backhand to backhand. I'm gonna wait for you to try to make your move. Little flashback to Dusseldorf 2017. Ma Long is dangerous even under pressure, even allowing you to take the first swing. There was a ball in this rally that is so close to a second bounce on the table, yet Zhendong was able to scrape it off the back. This one right there. Chop block comes back. No problem for Zhendong. That's the place. We don't see too many serves that wide. Not wide enough for Zhendong to go around the net. Have to take a major chance taking it very late if he wanted to try that, but he'd lose positioning. Quality long push to the middle of the table from Ma Long. I think about world rankings, I think about the points. These two represent China in the Olympic Games in singles. Ma Long's ranking will need to be one of the top 2 spots, along with Zhendong. He's looking down at the T2 logo, just thinking about how important those points will be from the T2 Diamond Series this year. But a comfortable backhand receive from Ma Long. Fast, a little bit long side of half-long serve. That one would have come clear of the table. Ma Long commits, uses the backhand over the table. Only up by 2 compared to last game, where Ma Long was up 7-0 when he hit the 7 mark. Good pressure, too deep for the backhand here from Zhendong. Only on a few occasions have you seen the explosive power come into play. Here's one of them. Fans showing their allegiance right now. Ma Long with more fans in the crowd, but Zhendong has definitely built up his fan club. Once again, Zhendong starts the fight. Ma Long counters quickly. Knows exactly how much wrist is needed to counter. Look how short that stroke is. The Bruce Lee 1-inch punch of table tennis. Talk about efficiency. Ma Long, most environmentally friendly player in the game. I just imagined Ma Long living in a small house, somewhere in a field, with solar panels on top. See the spin here, the rotation from Zhendong, just shy of 6,000 RPM. Did a little math in my head. 6,000 RPM. We're talking 100 rotations per second. That's how fast the ball is spinning on these shots. 100 per second. Ayah. 8 points apiece now, dead even here in game 2. Oh, what a backhand. Now this was the point last time they played. Game number 2. Ma Long was leading 10-7, wasn't able to grasp game number 2. Fang Zhendong doesn't want to get to that position in the first place. We didn't see this fire from him in game number 1. I guess we simply didn't see the results. There was nothing to chole about for Fang Zhendong. Only 4 points total out of 15 played in game number 1. Complete surprise. Ma Long thought that there was no option for Fang Zhendong to go there, but he forces himself to try to play to the short side, and Fang Zhendong earning himself 2 game points. How is that a difficult shot? Has to put so much side spin on it to turn the wrist to make sure that he disguises it and leaves no clue for Ma Long to know that the ball's going to the forehand side. 2 game points for Xiaopeng with the serves on his side.
10-8.
Good catch. Fang Zhendong takes game number 2 to even the playing field. This is a fight that you do not want to miss. 1 game apiece. Fang Zhendong trying to set the record straight and show that he is ready to beat the player who's dominated him throughout his career. At 22 years old, we will see a long way to go, but it's tied up at 1 game apiece. We'll be back for game number 3 right after this. Back for game number 3. Oh, the irony of the DJ playing Despacito fast, sped up, considering Despacito means slowly. Not a coincidence maybe, as Ma Long has played slowly, but turns it up a bit, and Fang Zhendong pulling out game number 2 with some fast shots and clever placement out to the wide forehand. It was a recurring theme, and as we saw the service placement of Ma Long, almost consistently, overwhelmingly to the backhand of Fang Zhendong. Not so many players serving that deep to the backhand throughout this tournament. Little apology there from Fang Zhendong. Picked him up. Either way, Ma Long, very low trajectory, at least on the first ball. I think was hoping that Fang Zhendong would be expecting it down the forehand line and start to move the other way. Fang Zhendong recognizing the pattern, waiting patiently. There's so much for me riding on this match. For anyone who watches this, wow, over 7,000 RPMs. For anyone who watches this and says this is China versus China, well, that's true. You're missing a whole lot of the subplot here.
2-1.
You're watching a 30-year-old who's the most dominant player in the game, the dictator, in black, versus the world number 1 that many believe is the 2nd best player on earth. A player who's been living in the shadows of Ma Long. Before, about a month and a half ago, had only beaten Ma Long once on the international stage out of 14 attempts. has been in tears of agony after some of his losses in recent years against Ma Long. Devastating shots here. One after another. Ma Long turning with the speed, and Zhendong braces himself, counters, and redirects. The reason the winner came in at 42 is because the winner was a slower shot that was blocked, a more passive, reactive shot from Zhendong, not the last shot from Ma Long, which is clearly faster than 42 km per H. Oh, he saves it! Ma Long was starting to go the wrong way, and he turns back. You can see the stress settling into the hair of Zhendong. Ma Long countering. I want to see the shot before that. Unbelievable, the agility, the anticipation. Just the ability to change out here, to adapt to the opponent's game. These are survival skills that has made Ma Long just dominant. Hear the fired up vocals now of Zhendong, trying to encourage himself, some positive reinforcement. Still almost gets that one back. Again, even with the body going the wrong way, he finds a way to get the racket hand in the place where the ball is. 2 in a row. How does that not break your body? If you're working out for table tennis, let this be the standard. Chinese national team, let that be the bar that you set for yourself to try to reach. The ability to play like this. Good call, Ma Long. Flash photography in the front row. Not ideal for the player facing the flash. Trying to give Ma Long a taste of his own medicine. He says, okay, you want to slow it down? Let's dance slowly for a minute. I love it, really. There's just so much going on here. I use the word power play in a more emotional sense to show your domination. Ooh, the flash again. Reflection. This is a skill that I would say Zhendong has been developing over the years, choosing his times for when to go explosive. Looks down at the backhand immediately. Been surprised by the trajectory. Shows a great level of confidence for reading the opponent's spin, if you think about what that implies. Just too pretty. These balls come in, and against anybody else in the world, you feel the danger when Zhendong hits this. But you're playing vicariously through these players like it's a video game. You're watching Ma Long handle world #1's spinniest shots, most aggressive shots, knowing that they can still come back. Not just come back, but come back as winners. For example, once again on the chase, off balance, Ma Long knows how to use that wrist to bend it back. Look at this one more time, a little bit late to come in. Quick movement, that forehand on the move. Just a reactionary step to the side and a snap of the wrist to win the point. Going to use the word clean, but with the apology, makes it seem like there was a little bit of dirt in some sense. Maybe a little bit of the edge of the table there. The stroke itself, though, was very clean. A bit of fortune for Zhendong. Within 3 points on his second serve. Not a drill, this is not a drill. This is real life, and it is happening live here. Zhendong, as fast as can be, backhand to backhand with Ma Long. Says, wait, train tracks turn. There's a fork in the road, and it's going to your forehand. There were no street signs telling us of this hazardous road violation here. The split in the tracks. Violation wasn't the right term. 2 points between them now. Himself a third ball to dictate. Bends it way out of reach. Not just topspin, but side spin as well. Bending away, sending Zhendong on the chase. Beautiful long push to start the rally. The surprise factor was high. Zhendong responds well, but Ma Long even better with the follow-up. Again, I'm constantly asked, do you think Ma Long is back at his peak level? And for me, the answer is if he's not, he's incredibly close. There it is, 11-6 over Zhendong, a 2-1 lead for the dictator. Ma Long up by 1. We'll be back for game number 4 in the Clash of the Titans. World number 1 in red versus the GOAT in black. Stay right here, game 4 coming up right after this. Back for game number 4. Ma Long leading 2-1. Had a chance to enjoy the towel, well, the 1 minute break there with no coaches in the corners. Felt like a 1 minute long towel break. I think it was funny seeing Ma Long with the towel over his head for some time, just thoroughly drying off here, making sure that sweat is not a factor. That being said, some sweat on the table. Clearly the sweat is flowing. The rallies have continued to get better and better as the match has gone on. Edge of the racket. Ma Long recovering a net ball early in this rally that clearly sent him behind the table. Sometimes you'll see apologies like that from Zhendong, often at this level, even if it happens a few shots before the end of the rally. A little bit of fortune that gave a clear advantage to a player unintentionally. When I watch Ma Long play these backhands, it just reminds me how underappreciated his backhand is. It's not even the best part of his game, but it's clearly a staple in the game. It's so smooth, so consistent. He can change the location just in the blink of an eye. Very subtle movements, very fast backhands. Soft spinny ones. Here Zhendong taking advantage of the open forehand court. Not able to beat Ma Long to this position. There's the soft spinny. Another soft spinny waiting. A little bit of side spin from Zhendong and a bit of disguise as well. Ma Long didn't have enough time to get to the ball. so impressed. His versatility from Ma Long, the way he's able to really make his backhand do so many things. Can play it from way out in front, take it a little bit later. But in many of the rallies, as strong as the backhand is of Zhendong, it hasn't been at its peak performance right now. We've seen him chasing, playing reactionary backhands to the wide backhand corner. Ma Long's very selective, very specific about when he chooses to go to the deep backhand corner.
Lights. 3-2.
Attempting on the serve here, you might recall game 2, Zhendong playing that to the short side of the table, out to the forehand for the winner. The timing is unbelievable. Like Ma Long knows that Zhendong wants this pattern. I'm about to turn for the forehand, and that's just the time. The ball's already gone the other way. This is essentially an offensive block at 50 kilometers per hour. Right off the bounce, times it perfectly. Almost no motion, almost no backswing. Short stroke backhand, and the change of direction puts Ma Long up by 2. Think about how many times Ma Long has picked the backhand-to-backhand battle. I mean, in many senses, this is more like the women's game in terms of where they're playing on the table. We see this in the women's game, the efficient strokes backhand-to-backhand. Both players are confident in their backhand, but Ma Long seems to feel more confident with his right now. Many talk about Ma Long as the best forehand in the world. But that's an ingredient that's not coming out here so much. Big part of that might be covering the wide forehand side of the table. In the counter game, in the blocking game, block is never quite the right term for Zhendong. There's always something more put on it. Still, Ma Long is in position with the backhand. This time it's Zhendong who takes the risk, says, you know what, I'm going to put a little bit more into this. We'll go full speed, full steam ahead here. Step around. The problem with that is if Ma Long wants to block it back to the backhand corner, he's got more length on the table there, but he's also got Zhendong waiting there to change up the positioning or play one more deep to the backhand. This one escapes Zhendong. Would it have won the point? Not necessarily. Should it have come down for Zhendong? Yeah, he makes that shot 9 out of 10 times. The pressure of Ma Long on the other side. It's not just the shot. It's who's waiting and what could happen once you put the shot down on the other side of the table. Five points apiece. Ma Long wins this game. It's a 3-1 lead. It will be very tough for the 22-year-old world #1 to recover. Doesn't miss by a lot. Just had a moment thinking about how amazing it is to have the opportunity not only to watch this, but to call this match. Two of the greatest players in the history of the sport. The inter-team rivalry is the most talked about. Turn of the corner. This reminds me of the last point of Dusseldorf 2017, turning the corner blind. The forehand comes out to play every once in a while for Ma Long, giving Zhendong a taste of his own recent medicine, a recent prescription. That was the Zhendong part of the crowd. Oh, wow. Looked around the stadium here. Good crowd on the side of the stadium as well. Rarely do we see Ma Long as flustered as that. Zhendong found the perfect crossover point to get the racket head up in the ice cream cone position. Little hesitation, Ma Long making the quick move. I'm really curious to look up the world ranking points for the Asian Cup, just in terms of how much it would either motivate or affect these two in their world rankings. Platinum event here, the top tier of the World Tour, the top 6 events of the year. This is a bit uncharacteristic for Ma Long. Got the first attack. Maybe it could have been against game plan in many senses. I think in many senses, Ma Long was always ready for something to change. Can't be prepared for everything. He's not opposed to taking the first attack. But in some of his best matches, like 2017 against Zhendong, allowing Zhendong to take a very specific opening attack that Ma Long felt he had set up as bait. What a save, what a move, a little bit off the top of the net, but the agility here. Ma Long runs it down, hooks it back on the table. But look how quickly he's back in center. To even reach the ball before is crazy, but to stay on your feet, rebalance yourself, and be ready for the rally to continue. This is what makes for the spectacle that the world has to see, has to tune in for, these two playing right here. Runs all around, and he finally finds a deep enough spot in the backhand corner. Zhendong within 1 point. A big point right there. Remember, Ma Long, he goes up 10-7. He's 1 point away from a 3-1 lead. Really took a risk with that shot. Ma Long's ball was coming back to the forehand corner. Breathtaking speed. Unbelievable that Ma Long can grunt as fast as Zhendong. I think they overlapped their grunts to counter on the forehands. 1 and 2. Ma Long sees it like we see it now. Slow motion. He is the one. He is the Neo of table tennis. Which is an anagram for the one, by the way. Or one.
8-10.
Ma Long with 2 game points now on the receive. Bending backhand does not come down. Awkward ball. 1 game point saved. Timeout on Ma Long's side. Could this be a flashback to 10-7 at the Asian Cup not long ago, where he was up 1-0, had a 1 game lead. Zhendong cracked it open. How to relax. Siri, how does one relax after 1 game point has gone and the opponent has 1 point on his serve to tie it up in what could be the turning point of this match? It feels like a premature final, really. Remember, Ma Long is playing to break a record, a world record for most World Tour titles. Number 28 is right here in China. Wadi has been eliminated. The forehand of Ma Long has only come out on rare occasions. Backhand deep to the backhand corner.
Time.
Well, it all depends on what Zhendong brings out serve-wise. Whoever wins this match will be the top contender by almost every standard, I would imagine, for the title here. That being said, Liang Jingquin beat Fan Zhendong recently at the World Championships. But he's out of the tournament. Ling Gaoyuan beating Liang Jingquin earlier today, so back from the timeout for Ma Long, the dictator on the receive. Well, that could not have gone exactly as planned. Ma Long quickly checking the ball. Heavy underspin on the serve, received into the net. What's the RPM on that one, huh? So 2 game points saved in a row. If there ever was a turning point, it's a critical moment now. Superheroes once again. The Marvel Universe has just infiltrated this building and taken over the table. Who are we watching? The Dictator and Xiao Pong going at it like this. There's got to be collateral damage right now in the stands. Somebody's going to get hurt from watching this. Really? I think it might be me, my heart, my God. Ma Long getting some of these back, touching ground. Fan Zhendong like a tripod out there. Wow. And it earns game point for Ma Long to go up 3-1, but it's not over yet. Now it is over, 3-1. He secures a 2-game lead. The Dictator has not won the match yet, but is in incredible shape right now. He is determined, no question about it. Number 28, title number 28 is on the line. It's only a quarterfinal match, but this is the biggest hurdle in the tournament at this point in time, and it might be the biggest hurdle that Ma Long has to jump. Game number 5, and the Clash of the Titans coming up right after this. The faces in the crowd are being made. In case you're wondering why it's been more than 1 minute, Zhendong got permission to change clothes right now. Sometimes a dry shirt is all you need for a fresh start. Malong taking his time in the corner, trying to stay focused here. We've seen shoe ties, we've seen shirt changes, bathroom breaks. Anything within the rules for a fresh start. The fans in the crowd. Malong, this is not a glamorous moment in life right now. He's definitely had his glamorous moments, being on top of the table, sending his love to the world after the Rio Olympic Games and the gold medal. Being a proud father, being a 3-time consecutive world champion, being world number 1 for 34 months in a row, just 2 days short of the all-time record set by Zhendong. Now Zhendong back with a fresh shirt. It's about to get tucked in. The question is it getting tucked in for a good night's sleep or not? Malong back out on the table. Still the dichotomy for me of Malong and the intense focus sitting in that corner with the fans screaming and enjoying this. I'm guessing from that interaction that Zhendong ran to change clothes and maybe didn't communicate that with the umpire beforehand. They say this is something you need to confirm ahead of time, get permission to do. Please be aware of that. Zhendong very apologetic, as he tends to be when the timing is right. So back for game number 5. He's down 1-3. Fresh shirt, fresh start, takes the first point of game number 5. Zhendong, he does. Not for Malong, of course. Zhendong waiting in the backhand corner. Just regaining his balance from the shot before. Swatting it back with the backhand like the bees panic mode. A bit of a frantic reaction there to keep the ball in play. Touch game right now. It almost feels like it's sent back to the Stone Age in terms of the way the rallies go. But as both of these players are trying to engineer solutions to shut down the opponent, let's come back to the touch game. Cradling the ball from in over the table. And make sure that the opponent doesn't get an opening like this. Zhendong taking advantage. It'll be good to see here in the replay. So quick to turn. Heavy rotation on that last ball, but the speed was quite strong as well. I wouldn't be surprised if that was upwards of 60 km per H. I love it. Just love the speed that they can bring here to exchange. Get a good 5 shots back and forth with Malong's forehand in play. Serve pendulum with heavy underspin. I just had a moment of thought here. Malong is 8 years older than the player who just called the timeout. Zhendong, he's 8 years older That's 2, maybe 3 generations for the Chinese national team. But because Fan Zhendong got the exposure that he did so young, really an anomaly. At 16 years old, was taking World Tour titles, playing internationally at 15. Think about that. He's already had 7 years experience internationally representing China on the biggest stage. That being said, at 22 years old, he's still 7 years older than arguably the greatest threat to the Chinese national team right now, Tomokazu Harimoto of Japan, who's waiting in the draw, surviving in the semifinals. Tomokazu Harimoto has won 50% of his last matches against both of these players. That's pretty crazy to think about. Still, if you ask most table tennis fans around the world right now, if either of these two players, Fan Zhendong or Ma Long, were to play Tomokazu Harimoto, they would both be the favorites to win. But not by a lot, not by as much as they're used to being the favorites, or as much as they would be against anyone else. Back from Fan Zhendong's timeout, Ma Long with the serve. Outstanding anticipation right there waiting on the wide forehand. Fan Zhendong makes his move early. Sees Ma Long get up. Remember, Mima Ito, 76 kilometers per hour. Just for perspective. Big point for Ma Long. Ma Long had his Achilles heel, or a thorn in his side, a kryptonite, I could really say, in the personal coach for Fan Zhendong, Wang Hao. Until Wang Hao retired, he had an incredible record against Ma Long that nobody else has repeated. Ma Long could be that to Fan Zhendong. He has been so far. If he wins this match here today, these two could end up facing off a whole lot before the Olympic Games in Tokyo 2020. But to hold such an impressive and incredible record over the world #1, Ma Long is going to be determined to shut this out here in game number 5. The length on this serve does not leave a lot of option. It's a bit shorter. One more time here. Heavy side, light under. And that light under misread. Fan Zhendong overlifting. The subtlety of Ma Long's pendulum serve. How much of what is on it? That is the question. Forehand down the line, an exposed open forehand corner, and Ma Long sure to find it. It's a radar implanted in the brain. A sonar system between the ears of Ma Long that detects an opening, a time to turn. 2 big points right there to set up a 2-point lead at the second towel break. Neither player leaving home. That 5-by-9-foot home at the center of the court. 3-point lead, will it be enough? A bit of momentum, a bit of pull in the engine. From Fan Zhendong. I'm watching this thinking I'm with the world right now, knowing that this is a bit of a makeup match for the match we did not get to see at the World Championships between Ma Long and Fan Zhendong. The what if will be asked time and time again. At 30 years old, is he slowing down? Will he slow down in any way? His greatest enemy is injury, and he's met with that enemy recently. The heat coming in on this one for Zhendong to punch that back down the line. 2 forehands in a row, 1 spinny, and then the kill shot drive. Zhendong gets the racket up to block the face and block the ball right back out of reach. 1-point game, 2 in a row for Zhendong. He's got some momentum on his side despite not having the serve. The serve will come back. It's one thing he can't control. Tight serve again inside the table. The variation of spin looked like mostly side from here. But Ma Long, a master of disguise. I would imagine that's what it was. Overlifted. The spin variation. Ma Long manages to get himself within 2 points of moving on over world number 1. Getting his revenge from the Asian Cup. 2 nets in the same point for Ma Long, just flipping as it goes past. A genuine apology from the dictator. But apology or not, the scoreboard shows 3 match points for the Dragon to Breathe fighter. Fire for the dictator to dictate once again. Not yet. Clear frustration for the missed opportunity. The dictator throws the ball to the barrier, and at the 3rd towel break, Xiaopeng starts to close in. Saves 1 match point. Ma Long had 10-7 once before recently. It was in Game 2 at the Asian Cup. He was up 1-0, 10-7. Lost the game.
10-8.
Tries to sweat from the palm of the racket hand, gets ready to come into battle here with the serve on his side. Not yet. Hanging in there for the big swings and the spins from Ma Long. There could be an uprising against the dictator here. It's a long way to go, but the stand is being made. Zhendong so focused right now. Zhendong has to be to counter this back. Still 6 kilometers per hour slower than Ito's shot. But it's invested in heavy spin to bend it out of reach. Zhendong has the serve, well, the serve back on his side. They'll be alternating serves now as it is deuce, 10 points apiece. Backhand goes long, another opportunity for Ma Long. Again for the dictator. Will he take advantage here? His serve has been so effective. The pendulum serve with side spin more than anything else. Little to no underspin, but making it look like underspin. 4th match point. He will not lie down. Zhendong sprays it out to the wide forehand under pressure. Oh man, just so intense right now. Again, how much is on the line? Whoever wins this match is the strong favorite to win this tournament. Still a lot of opposition left in the draw. Ling Gaoyuan, Tomokazu Harimoto, Shushin. Suckers him in, gets Zhendong point away from ending the broadcast day and clearing the way of the toughest opponent he might have. Spectacular finish, the Dictator does it! 13-11 in game number 5. What a way to turn this around. It was almost the exact same point we saw at the Asian Cup that Zhendong won the match with. Absolute firepower, backhand to backhand, the battle against maybe the best backhand in the world. And the Dictator holds down the regime. It is not yet time for the 22-year-old world number 1 to prove that his world ranking means that he is better than this man right here. The Dragon, the Captain, the Dictator sits in his throne. Moving on to the men's singles semifinals. The scoreline will not tell the whole story, but the last 2 games, my goodness, were they exciting. A pleasure to watch live. And really, the competition left in this tournament leaves a lot of excitement for the matches to come. But the man fighting for his 28th World Tour title to break the record of 43-year-old Vladimir Samsonov of Belarus will come out for a live interview right now as he loosens up the shoes to let his feet breathe and relax for a minute. Let's hear what Ma Long has to say.
We have Ma Long with us, and congratulations. As we all know, Zhendong is your biggest opponent at present. How you comment on his performance today? 恭喜你进入下一轮。我们都知道Zhendong是你目前最大的对手，那你怎么评价他今天的比赛的表现呢？
我觉得今天2个人还是都发挥出最好的水平，我相信也是一场精彩的比赛。然后今天这场比赛不光是可能技战术的较量，更多的也是意志上的较量，因为有很多球都是打到最后的，所以说今天我觉得很庆幸在最后2局这种关键球处理的还是不错吧。
Ma Long said they all play well in the match, and it's very challenging both physically and mentally, and he's lucky that he sticks to the last minute, especially in the last 2 games. Tomorrow you will play against the Japanese player Harimoto. How will you prepare for it? 明天你将对阵日本小将，那你该如何准备这场比赛呢？
我觉得比赛场上不分老将和小将，更重要的还是谁能赢谁就是胜利者。所以说明天这场比赛我相信也是很艰苦的一场比赛，所以也会做好最困难的准备吧。
When you're on the field, there's no difference of experienced player or young player. When you are on the field, you have to try your best to win the match. So he will be prepared for tomorrow's match. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Well, there is no question that Ma Long will come to the table prepared. He's going to be playing 15-year-old wonder kid from Japan, Tomokazu Harimoto, in the semifinals. They're 50-50 in the last about 4 years of playing. It was the Polish Open in 2015 where Tomokazu Harimoto got his first taste, but since then they've only played twice, in 2018 and 2019. And they're 50-50, Ma Long and Tomokazu Harimoto. What a performance and sign of respect for Zhendong here today. With only 2 victories against Ma Long, it is understood that Zhendong is maybe the greatest challenge, the greatest opponent to Ma Long. But one more waiting from Japan tomorrow. It's been an incredible day of table tennis. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I'm Adam Bobro, and we'll see you tomorrow. Ming Tian Chien.